For all of us, I think the omnipresent Sai has been our mentors for life and will continue to be. But in the professional space, when we don't naturally have a good mentor around us, how do we seek and find the right one?
It's so overwhelming for me to see all of you here. Um, whatever little I'm sharing here, I'm sure all of you here will have much larger experience and much wider experience than I have. So please bear with me. You mentioned about mentorship. Um, in a workplace, in a corporate workplace, you don't, if you continue to keep growing and progressing in your career, uh, there will, unlikely to see one mentor, you'd probably see many in the field. So one thing which is very close to me, and I would like to sort of share that with you, I think the biggest journey in finding a mentor is first willingness to learn, uh, willingness to unlearn and learn, and keen to observe. The minute you start looking for knowledge, seeking knowledge, or improving yourself, you will find people who are willing to mentor you. It is what they say, guru finds you. You don't find a guru. I'm still searching for my guru. So I'm looking for, and therefore the mentors come in because you show your willingness to be a student, learn from them. Uh, in a corporate world or anywhere, for the matter, anywhere in life, multiple mentors will be there. I don't know if people said there's only one mentor. I always wonder how lucky they were. But for me, there have been multiple mentors, multiple. I can't count them. Every part of my today, what I am, is someone who's been the role model, the mentor, the guide, the light, which has helped me to be what I am today. Nothing would have, if I were to tell you, people here listening to my last half a second, 1 minute speech, would you believe that till standard 10 or standard 12, I was murmuring, I was stammering, I can't speak. I wouldn't be able to finish a sentence, finish a word, leave alone a sentence. That severe was my stammering. There was somebody, who through this journey got this out of me. And today I'm able to speak before you. It is something before which made me. Today people complain that I speak too fast for a person who could not even finish a word in the past.
So, since you mentioned that you had many mentors along the way, can you share a couple of learnings that you've picked up from them that have stuck with you and helped you through your, tough phases?
Let me, they're very early days mentors, but let me be more relevant to my current career phase. The first mentor for me, which I would so profound, is my college department head, Mrs. Nirmala Prasad. In a women's college 35 years ago, probably the most questions which you ask in the final year is, when are you getting married? Where are you going to go? Are you going to go to US? What are your life skills are to being a good housewife? I had an HOD 35 years ago who sort of inculcated in a women's college that you have to be financially independent. You have a right to be financially independent. Work yourself to be a career woman. And it was just a BCom. It was not a management graduate. It was not a fancy MBA program in any prestigious college. It was a very simple BCom. And here I had that HOD telling us in the final year that we all have to be financially independent. And financially independent in a very professional manner. Because again, 35 years ago, the women, like she's talked about advocates, it was considered, if you're a profession, you should be a secretary. You would be a personal secretary to someone. You're a typist to someone. You do your, shorthand typewriting, and then the next job is to become a secretary. So here I had an HOD who would sort of put that spark and saying doing it. Like one of the speakers talked about 6 siblings. I was a family of 4 and 3 older brothers. And I think my 3 older brothers did not realize the 4th one was a girl. So they continued to treat me like a boy. In some way, very beneficial to me. That gave me a lot of independent spirit, not to be able to deal things on my own. The other biggest mentor, I'm sure for everyone it is here, it is your parents. Just goes without it, my father was the biggest role model. Whatever I am today in business, it is because my father. And my mother, who's today at 83 years, is managing a life with so much of dignity, is the biggest role model and a mentor. I would say for every one of you, your God is your parents, nothing beyond it.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing something so personal. Let me break and go to another topic now. Since you're from the financial background, let me ask you $1 million question. Is there one mantra that you can share with all of us on how to achieve financial security? And if you can add to it, how can we strengthen our business acumen and develop our leadership qualities? I think that would be an added bonus.
Yeah, I think for women, financial security is something which I think we should seek and preserve. Yeah. So something which I passionately talk about in various groups. Even working women, I see very often leave this. They think it is like I can earn, but managing is a man's job. So if the bank account is managed by someone else, it could be a partner, it could be a parent, it could be a brother, whatever. Or even managing not just bank account, managing your investment. Saving and beyond saving, it is investment. And managing your lifetime retirement is something women shy away and give it away to someone else to manage. Something which I would keep saying that the future, it is not a distrust, mister. It is you are equally and even better equipped to manage. So, like something in business which is say, whoever is the best person to do it should do it. It does not matter whether it is man, women, which class, which gender, which caste. The best person gets the best job. So I always personally think investment, if we know how to save well, don't you think we can manage the investment well as well? If we are the best saving people, women are the best people to save. We can manage household with nothing. And if we can save, we can be the best managers of the money as well. So I would say investment is something which we should focus on ourselves, not just saving or not just preserving something for the family. For us, leadership, starting from managing a house to managing an enterprise, is all one and the same. Delegation. One word I will give is delegation. You should be the role model. You should have, I know, it's the integrity which you have, the honesty in your work. But if you have to build business of scale or run a household with, like all of them talked about, is if I have to be a full-time career, I have to have somebody to handle my house. Just as a male member would also need somebody to manage the house. It is not my prerogative. House is not mine alone. So I want to be very clear. House is owned and managed by all my family members, including my husband. I'm not the one managing the house. I equally believe that he is managing the house as well. And it's a question of delegating and very important, trusting that someone else can do something well and continue to monitor, guide, and ensure more people do work in such a way that you do less and do only those things which you alone can do. So leadership is all about finding out what others do can do, give it to them, and focus on only on those things that you alone can do, and you can do it well. So that's my way of looking at leadership.
Thank you for those inputs, ma'am. I think I have some homework. I've left my father to handle all my investments so far. I'm going to change that. So let me ask you something about as you grew up your career ladder and become the leader of a large corporation. You must have faced a lot of situations where you had moral or ethical dilemmas. So what helped you through your decision-making process in such situations?
Wow. Again, nothing very different to anybody in the world today. I mean, corporate ethics, even in household, you come across ethical issues. Now you see your child who's not doing something appropriate. Now you can take a very tough stand, or you can take a coaching position, or you can be a bit lenient and wait for the person to learn themselves. But in a corporate world, have a very fiduciary responsibility. You're dealing, and especially in the line of business I'm with, it's a lot of fiduciary responsibility. You have someone else's money you're handling. So there is something which is very, very strong in line, is that you should not only be right, you should also exhibit to people that you're right, because that's a model, or that's the standard which you send, a culture which percolates to thousands of people. So ethics is, I'd probably in a corporate world, I'll translate that ethic to a little smaller definition: fairness. There is what is right and what is wrong keeps changing in business world over a period of time. So it's not a hard-coded right and wrong, other than the general principles. But what is really important in a corporate world, or in a real dealing with people, that is all, corporate world is all dealing with man management, right? Man management is all about fairness. If you are able to exhibit this fairness in a very consistent manner, when there is one name which people can say that you can't be unfair. Now, I can be not necessarily being pleasing to people. I'm not necessarily being, like I always say, I'm not here to get the popularity contest. I'm not to be a nice person, but I need to be a fair person. In a business world, being nice, being some sort of a movie star, people looking at it, no, that is not my job. My job is question of being fair. So I'm in a popularity contest. If there is one, or leadership skill which I would look at, is being fair. So fairness in your dealing on a consistent manner, consistent to the core, that never ever slip that fairness model. So if there is one fear which I do in my work, is whenever I'm in a dilemma, I look back and say, what would somebody whom I respect in that role, a senior colleague of mine, my first boss of mine, what would he have done if he was in this role? What would have been his decision? So every time I'm trying to put myself and say, if this was in a situation which was before a colleague who I respected, or my boss in the past, I would use that. So fairness is something very precious, very precious.
Thank you so much for that reminder that we should stay rooted to ourselves while we still grow. It was an absolute pleasure to share the stage with you today. I think all of us have a lot of takeaways from this talk, and I hope I get the opportunity again to do this.